So, what we have right here, I've got a poll going on, and this is a question I'm posing to people, and this is part of the Uncomfortable Conversation series. So, you can answer the question. Hey, cuz, the question is, if you found out that your child was in a relationship with the older person and your child told you that they would unalive themselves if you told, as a parent, would you take the risk? Oh boy, let me see.
You think he'd like it? I think he would have been terribly embarrassed. But secretly, he would have loved it.
Okay, I don't know if this is the best time or the worst time to type.
You got into the Fire Academy?
I start Monday.
Harry, congratulations.
Really? Really? I'm proud.
Did you get the question?
Hey, maybe you guys didn't hear, but there's a party downstairs.
What is this? You took an oath. You have a prize.
Coffee mug? Rubber axe? Just tell me not to spill.
I think we made him speak.
Hey, everybody that's dropping in.
She's the rest.
118 is not just a number. It's us.
Oh, wait a minute.
I promise I won't let you guys down, okay?
Hold on. I'm going to get my other phone and put the question in the comments. Oh, boy. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Probably saw a lot of Lyme disease in that part of the world. Probably also saw a lot of stuff that looked like Lyme disease. You know, something else.
Oh, boy, where's the other phone at?
The other day. I'm in enough for you. Simpsons survived the siege, but she accidentally moved to the Rockies. Well, that's
No.
thinking
Oh, good God Almighty.
you would have seen swollen lymph nodes in the neck.
Oh.
Syphilis? God, no. I mean, also, that would explain her muscle soreness.
Unfortunately, you can't put a CT scan machine in the back of an ambulance.
But I went there to get my hands on one of those.
This is part of the uncomfortable conversation series. I am doing a poll.
That's why you're here. I don't need everybody asking me questions, including you. So just run the test, and I'll do the rest.
Okay, firefighter Wilson. Welcome to Luna.
Hold on. Hold on, everybody.
Relax. There's always a bigger fish.
This is April Showers of the April Showers Network. And, you know, I did a series on the uncomfortable conversations. Things that, you know, we need to
Nobody told me it was
talk about, the things people don't talk about.
Fluids aren't as warm as I want
So-
so your core temperature drops.
What I, the question
Ask them to warm up the fluids.
that I am asking
Hey, you seem to know.
is,
How long until we feel results? I'm supposed to be at work in an hour and I couldn't even keep water down this morning.
Maybe you should have laid off some of those tequila shots last night, too.
How'd you know it was
if you find
Got
out
stains on the edge of your hoodie.
your child
Irritation around the cuticles on your right hand, probably
was
caused
in a relationship
and half a hand stamp left from her
with
presidency on this
an older person,
or something?
or something.
Are you in here a lot?
Once a week for the past 3 months. I've pretty much tried every treatment they have to offer.
So, wait, what's wrong with you?
and your child told you they would unalive themselves if you did something to that person, as a parent, would you take that risk?
Another public vlogging that could have been an email.
Man's health's not that bad. Take your lumps and move on.
Shut up, here it comes.
Morning, folks. Impressed to see you all made it. I'm more impressed to see that I got my sales sheets on time this month. Let's begin. Midwest, Zach. Customer surveys ticked up a half point, and you sold 200 single handles. Thanks, Ivan. I'm just reading numbers. Check. Your columns are too wide. There is a proper format, folks. Sales sheets need to be tight. Are you alright? I'm fine. Moving on to the West Coast. Simone, have you even heard of the Aqueduct 4000?
Chrome, center set, low flow for the eco-conscious.
Now I see why you're not selling any. Rachel. Boys and girls, this is a miracle of modern design and engineering. Mirrored finish, flawlessly wrapped around an industry-leading gooseneck spout. Ergonomic curl handles that ensure a perfect flow. Every time it's a masterpiece. And this thing should sell itself.
Look, all our clients' budgets are squeezed right now.
Please, Todd. I don't care.
Hold on.
Ivan? What's happening?
Oh Lord, I gotta turn off the TV.
He was yelling and then he just dropped. His name's Ivan Van Pelt. He's with TV.
Hey, Meta Associates. If you found out. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta get this echo. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Because I did this all the way wrong on how I wanted to do this poll. But hold on. Y'all give me 1 minute. Okay, the echo should be done stopped.
What is that? That's for chest signals.
Okay, here is the question. Hey, I bring it. Hey, Meta. Okay, let me put, if you found out your child, let me see, your 13-year-old child was in a relationship well, wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta take my time. I did this all the way wrong. Yeah. In a relationship with older person and your child said they would unalive themselves or their self, let me see, their self if you said something would you take the risk? Would you take Okay, there we go. So, if you found out that your 14-year-old child was in a relationship with the older person and your child said that they would unalive themselves or take their lives if you told, or if you did anything to this person, would you take that risk? What would you do? I'm just trying to see, because as parents, we don't get a manuscript for being parents. And some parents get put into situations that they didn't ask for, and they're going to protect their child. I'm just asking a question. And that's all. Would you take the risk? Hey, Purple. I mean, I just need to know what people's minds is at. Because I'm not even going to go into them details. I'm asking a question. As a parent, and I'm pretty sure a lot of parents, you done probably found out your son or daughter was in a relationship with the older person, probably twice their age, or they got pregnant with an older person. And when you found out, your child told you that if you do anything to that person, I'm going to unalive myself. Because now, we got to keep this 100. We know what the power of love will do. They say love will make you do wrong. Love will make you do right. Love will make you come home early. Love will make you stay out all night. When a person is in love, and that, especially that first person, you done had, sex with. And we have all been in love before, right? Couldn't nobody tell us nothing about a man or a woman. But as a parent, and Lord knows, I wouldn't want to wish this on my worst enemy. But I know in my high school years, there were a lot of older men that came to my high school, right? So, the question is that I'm asking is, when you find out your child they have been in a relationship with the older person, and you might want to unalive that person, but your child tell you that they would unalive themselves if you do something to that person. As a parent, what would you do? That's all I'm asking. Would you take the risk and call your child's bluff? Or would you be like, Lord, I got to pray about this, but I don't want my child to do this. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking people. Because see, everybody, everybody want to talk about everybody till they end in the situation. If you was in that situation, and some of you might have been in the situation, I need to know, would you stay silent or would you take the chance of your child who this person they so in love with telling you that they gonna unalive themselves if you do something to them? I just need people to answer the question. Would you take the risk? That's all. We got everybody. A lot of people, like I say, I didn't live to be close to 64 years old and act like I was this perfect saint back in the day. And I have God first in my life. Okay, I bring it every day, says I would need to have a conversation with them. Yeah. Because, like I say, we know this, we have what they call them PDS. A lot of people done found out, like their kids, like they was with this older person. And so, a lot of people, for the sake of their child, because their child done told them that they gonna unalive themselves. And we all know what love gonna do. Would you take that risk and do something to that person? Or would you, would you stay mum? Because at this point, you don't know what your child gonna do, especially a young child. So see, I need somebody to make this make sense to me. I need somebody to make it make sense to me that I done found out my child has been in a relationship with the older person. Now I already got to face the fact that this is what's been happening. But now they telling me they gonna unalive themselves if you do something to that person. Your child, who is young, dumb, and we're gonna keep this real, and they in love. They don't know nothing, but they believe in this person. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna risk your child unaliving themselves? So when the child's in love and you know this older person done really got the best of them, but your child so in love with that person that they tell you, I'm gonna do something to myself if you do something to them, what would you do? Would you take that risk? You know it's wrong. You wanna hurt the person. They done took your child's innocence. Your child is a child, but they in love. Are you going to risk your child possibly unaliving themselves? I bring it every day, said she would have to have a conversation with them. Because I'm pretty sure in my lifetime there has been some parents that really wanted to take a man or woman out of here for messing with their child. But they had to nip it in the bud, go against everything in them, because they was not going to take the chance of their child who is young, dumb, in love, think this person is really loves them, that they gonna unalive themselves. That's all. I'm just asking a question. Because as parents, a lot of our children have put us in some compromising positions. That we didn't want to be put in, but for the sake of keeping our child, we got to go along with this mess. I'm just asking for a friend. I'm asking for myself because I'm just curious. Because, you know, I know a lot of girls. A lot of girls. And when I look back on it, I'm like, ooh, I could remember the parents being so mad and upset. And I get it now because that child had them by the balls, the parents, because they love their child. And they wouldn't want to be the reason that their child unalived themselves. Like I say, there's a lot of misconceptions. Okay, the Reconnect podcast said the police would be involved. But the Reconnect podcast would, if your child has told you, you can't tell nobody, you can't go to no law enforcement. If you tell anybody, I'm going to unalive myself. You can't call the police. I mean, would you take that risk? And if you can please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. So the Reconnect podcast, you say the police would be involved. But what if your child told you, if you call the police, if you tell anybody about this, if you confirm this, I'm going to unalive myself? So you would take the risk. Okay. You would take the risk. Okay. I can respect that. So you wouldn't let your child, you would call your child's bluff. So, the Reconnect podcast. So, for the parents that didn't want to take that chance of risking their child unaliving themselves, are they bad parents? No. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we don't get a manuscript for being parents. I'ma tell you personally, I don't know what I would do. But me being the mother, me knowing that my child is so gone about this older person, and me myself personally, I probably would have not said anything. But then again, I don't know. I can talk with reason now, but at that moment in time, you know, you wanna unalive this person. You wanna mess them up. You wanna call the cousins, the family. You wanna pay somebody to mess this person up. But, you know, your child done said that they would unalive themselves. I don't know. Yeah, thanks for understanding. Because like I say, this is part of the Uncomfortable Conversation series. And you know, it's a lot of stuff going on out there with, you know, these Epstein files. We have Rashonda Landfair. She has spoken about R. Kelly. You got people talking about Jay-Z now, P. Diddy now. I mean, all of these young girls, you know, we're looking at parents like, you know, our first instinct would be, we want to mess this person up because we already know they ain't no good. But then you got your lovesick child there. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. Because this young child, older people stuff been going on for a while. And you do have, back in the day where, you know, they married the older mans because they knew they were going to take care of them and stuff. But, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you are so correct. This is something that happens every day without the fame and the money. You know, this happened, you know, when I was in high school. I know a whole lot of men that came and picked up girls at lunchtime, and they didn't come back. because, you come to find out that some of these girls, they were so in love, girls and boys, because there have been women that have gotten with younger boys. You find out and you mad. Your first reaction would be to mess them up. Yeah, the Reconnect podcast says, yeah, I see that happen when I was in school as well. Yeah, I bring it every day. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we say it's crazy, and we can sit up and say what the parents should have did, they should have did this, they should have did that. But what was they gonna do when their child was telling them, you tell anybody, I'm gonna unalive myself. Woo! So, all I can say is, as parents, we don't get a manuscript. And we need to stop talking about parents, because we don't know what position their kids told them, how much they cried to their parents, how much they said, you'll never see me again if you tell, it's a lot. It's a lot when you really sit down and think about it. When you look at the whole dynamics, is I found out my child is in a relationship with the older person. I want to mess this older person up, but I got my child boo-hooing, talking about what they gonna do if I do something to the person, or they might not never see me again. Yeah. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, so what is the conversation when the child states they are going to unalive themselves? Yeah, what I'm saying is, if you find out the Reconnect podcast that your child is in a relationship with the older person, and you done found out, and you ready to either call the police, call the family members, or you yourself as the parent, you ready to take your Yo, I see, I don't even know what I could say on YouTube. Yo, SHOTGUN or yo 9 or yo 38, you ready to go mess up this person. But your child tell you if you do something to them, they are going to unalive themselves. If your child tells you, if you do something to them, then I'm going to take my own LIFE, what are you going to do? Yeah, I bring it every day. I think you have to show them love, but also give them corrections. But will you still mess the person up, or would you have to say, my child telling me, you know, I can't go put my hands on them, because my child talking about they will unalive themselves. Yeah, I think you have to show them love, but you give them corrections. So, I bring it every day. Would you do something? So that means you're not going to do nothing to the person, right? Much as you want to mess them up. I bring it every day says it would be difficult to not retaliate on the adult. I know, that's what I'm saying. Basically, you can't do anything to that adult because your child then said, oh, I'm going to take my life. Or I might unalive myself. You know, like, so you got to sit there and you got to take this mess. Because, okay, the Reconnect podcast says, yeah, I think there has to be a conversation to determine why the child state that. This can be a play on words due to the adult putting ideas in the child's head. Well, you know, and more than likely, the adult probably told them to say that. And then some girls are just so in love with that older person. You know, all of us been in a relationship where could nobody tell us nothing about no person we was seeing, because we was just that gone. We loved them just that much. shoot, I know it's a whole lot of parents probably don't wanted to mess up a lot of people. But to have your child tell you that they would unalive themselves, if you told, it would have to be, hey, they already got their mind made up. And I'm going to have to pray for them. Because all of us know that first love, that first person that you done had your first experience with, that sexual experience with, baby, can't no parent stop that. We got to keep this 100. Can't no parents compete with their child when they done fooled around and fell in love with the older person that we know don't mean them no good. And my question is, does that make a person a bad parent because they chose not to take that risk? Because let me tell you something. I'm not getting ready to roll the dice. I wouldn't have never rolled the dice and said, well, if I crap out, my child might unalive themselves. I wouldn't have never rolled them dice. I wouldn't have never gambled on that. I would have had to suck it up. And then pray and get other people to talk to them. I feel terrible for any parent whose child got in a relationship and they found out that their child was with an older person. And they couldn't do nothing to that person. I think for me, myself personally, it would hurt me more that I could not physically have something done physically to a person, an older person that took advantage of my child. And my child then told me that they would unalive themselves. That would have me upset every day that I could not do nothing to this person because I love my child so much that I'm not going to gamble on if they would unalive themselves. Because you don't know if that's how they really truly feel. You don't know if the older person then told them to say this. And then some girls have thought, some girls and boys have thought that older person was their knight in shining armor. Okay, so let me read the comments now. The Reconnect podcast said, "Oh, I bring it every day," said, "I am not taking it." She agrees with "I bring it every day." "I bring it every day," says, "My child is getting protection. That wins over everything." The Reconnect podcast says, "Yeah, for me, police would be involved and I would look for outside resources to get help for my child." "I bring it every day," says, "That is what I'm talking about." The Reconnect podcast says, "I feel like the child is taken advantage by making that statement to continue to be with the older adult." Because all I know is when, we have seen this in our lifetime. We have seen our kids sneak out. We done seen them act a fool. We done seen them do some crazy things to get with that older person who they think loves them. So that's cool. Y'all saying that y'all would have rolled the dice, y'all would have called the police. You wouldn't have gave a darn what the child said. Yeah. But again, for the parents that didn't want to take that chance, are they bad parents? Woo, child. That's a lot for a parents to endure, to find out a person, your child, has been with an older person, having relationships with your child. That probably is the most dirtiest, low downest thing to find out. But to have your child tell you that, oh boy, they would unalive themselves if you tell anybody. I'm only talking about a situation where you find out your child then fell in love with an older person, and you can't even call the authorities. Or, well, I got, okay. Now, okay, the Reconnect podcast says, well, here is the thing. This goes both ways. If a person decides to bite the bullet and not say anything about the situation, a lot can happen. CPS can be involved. Yeah, but again, like I say, if that child done put it out there to you, that child done said, if you tell anybody, if you call the police, if anybody find out, if anybody do harm to this person, to that older person, that they gonna unalive themselves. And at this point, you don't know. All you know is you got a lovesick child that think, oh my God, this is the best thing. He's gonna marry me. He loves me. I did all of this for him because I loved him. We were secretly meeting behind your back. Now your child don't know that they ain't shit, but you know. So, the Reconnect podcast, after so long, all of the stuff comes out. And sometimes it comes out in a bad way, girls end up pregnant. Tapes get exposed. You know, when the stuff comes out, it comes out in a horrific type of way. Yeah. Yeah. It comes out in a horrific type of way. Do you guys know? Yeah. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. It comes out in a horrific type of way. I am a fair woman. Yeah, it's just a terrible situation. Like I say, we don't get a manuscript for being parents. We all make mistakes. But I'd be darned if people would say, I'm a bad parent, or what I shouldn't have did when my child held me hostage, when my child told me they would unalive themselves. And I had to sit there and look at a dirty, low-down son of a gun. And I can't pay somebody to do something to him. I can't do nothing but suck it all up because I love my child and I ain't gonna take that risk. Yeah, it's a terrible situation. It's a terrible situation. And I've got to look through these eyes from everybody's viewpoint. I had to look at life through everybody's eyes. And I wouldn't wish the situation of finding out that your child has been in a relationship with the older person and you done found out and you want to do something to them, but you got your son or daughter talking about what they gonna do to themselves if you tell anybody. Yeah. So, hey, 312, I'm not talking about people that sent their kids in. I'm not talking about none of that stuff. I ain't talking about that. Well, I'm not talking about that situation where parents took their kids and they knew. I'm talking about folks that's been found out. Okay, for instance, we can look at D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley daughter told him that the family member was messing. His daughter told him. He didn't even believe his daughter. Yeah. I ain't talking about no stuff with no parents and then set their kids up or nothing like that. I'm talking about people that got behind their parents' back and the older person preyed on them. Now, I'm talking about them men that came down there at lunchtime and picked up them girls. I'm talking about them friends that was family friends. So we have D.L. Hughley, whose daughter hold on. Let me see. I got this. I had this all wrong when I was setting up this show. But let me see. Let's see. See if I can play this with D.L. Hughley's daughter.
So D.L. Hughley is finally speaking out in regards to Monique bringing his daughter into this whole situation. Welcome back to the Campfire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So even when I'm feeling a little under the weather, and you probably already hear it in my voice, I had to report on this. I had to give you guys a follow-up. I promise, because a lot of you are like my mom in the chat. I promise after this, I'm gonna go sit down somewhere, okay? But I had to give you a follow-up on this whole situation. So just an update. I'm not going to give you the full update. If you missed everything when it comes to this DL Hughley and Monique situation, be sure to check out some of my other videos. However, the update from yesterday when Monique posted an interview that DL Hughley did with Sway, where he revealed how he did not protect his daughter, how he did not when she told him that she was violated. All right? He admitted that in an interview. But Monique decided to repost this because someone sent it to her, and she used that as a...
So, there we have D.L. Hughley did not believe his daughter. See, this stuff is deep. It's deep. And I'll tell you one thing. I will not ever again in my life speak on a situation that I don't know the full story when it comes to people finding out that their child has been in a relationship with the older person that called themselves a family friend, uncle, all of this type of stuff. And they have set up and waited on the child to grow up. Nope. And then to have that child to tell you that you better not say nothing because they might unalive themselves. And you don't know if this is the young, dumb child. And yeah, I'm saying young and dumb because I was young and dumb at one time in my life. Hell, I was young and dumb and I was 19. Or you don't know if this is what the person has told them to say. I would not gamble and take that chance. But see, I know me. I'm glad I'm a much calmer person because I know what I did with certain family members. Going to houses, pulling out guns. Allegedly. Allegedly. When you find out that somebody has messed with a younger person in your family, and your child tells you that they will unalive themselves. I will never ever speak and call any parent bad for the decision that they chose to make when it came to their child. Only, like I said, I ain't talking about no parents that sent their kids to somebody. I ain't even talking about that mess. So don't get it twisted. I'm talking about parents that found out a person that's called themselves supposed to have been a family friend was messing around with their child. That's what I'm talking about. So, I don't know, let me see. I gotta see if I got some more comments in here. If the screen, yeah. Y'all know what? I'm eating some Girl Scout cookies. Y'all know what? I'm going to try to stop smacking when I'm doing these shows. I don't know what it is. Smacking when I'm doing these shows. I don't know what it is. Wait a minute, hold on. I don't know what it is. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. I got my other device. Because I'm trying to see if it's... Okay. I was trying to see if it was any more comments or if any more people that came in and made some comments. I want to thank everybody that came to this show today, the Reconnect Podcast. I've got to go to your channel and subscribe to you. I thank you for the interaction tonight. I think I bring it every day. I thank y'all. I thank you 312 for coming in. And I want to say this. Okay, the Reconnect Podcast. I just subscribed to your channel. I want to say this. I don't know everything, but together we can learn and have some healthy conversations. And I want to say that I am a woman that I can say I had a wrong misconception about one thing. And so, hey, I can take constructive criticism, and I can always say, sometimes my way of thinking ain't always right. But I'm thankful that I can look at the world through everybody's eyes. I do know that everything is not black and white now. It's gray. I do know that speaking on situations, sometimes speaking on situations, you think you might know something and you don't know nothing. I want to thank everybody for joining me for this show. I'm going to say this. As parents, we do not get a manuscript on being a parent. I want to say that until you have walked in somebody's shoes or had that experience, that you really can't speak on it neither. Like, I tell people I don't know anything about sports. All I know is I bought 2 football squares, allegedly, for the football pool. And I just hope some of my alleged numbers come out and I win the football pool. I would not talk about football because I don't know anything about sports. But I will say, to have a person that was supposed to be a family member sitting around your house, your kids, and to come to find out they were with your child, it's got to be a hurtful experience. And to deal with the aftermath of finding out, and to have your child tell you, if you tell anybody that they might unalive themselves, I would never ever want to be in that situation. I don't even know. I can't even say, I know what the old me, but I know now that I have God first in my life, I would not roll the dice and risk my child unaliving themselves. This is April Showers, and I thank you for joining me for this show. Peace and love, everybody.